Said that we're going to find out that President Trump actually did win certain states in the 2020 election. Now, the president says all the time that the election was rigged. What have you done about that? Do you have any evidence that the election was rigged? What can you tell us?
Well, there's a ton of evidence that the election was rigged.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. So you just heard there, the acting attorney general, Todd Blanche, on Fox News saying, we got it. There's tons of evidence that the election was rigged. And later on, and we're about to watch in that video, he says, we know which states it was rigged in and how they actually did it. We went from being demonetized, deplatformed, fired, called election deniers and threats to democracy for questioning the results of the 2020 election. And now, calling out the 2020 election rigged scheme is now mainstream news media. And ladies and gentlemen, I absolutely love it. Do me a huge favor, smash that thumbs up, subscribe, leave me a comment. How is your day going? And really quickly, before we get into the news, today's sponsor and the sponsor of the channel overall is Verity Metals. If you're a stacker or if you want to protect your IRA, 401k retirement plan, Verity Metals is the company for you. They're patriots, people of faith, Trump supporters like you and I. Their office is not a huge call center, small, family-owned shop located in Glendale, Arizona. Call or text 888-328-6105. Tell them Vlad sent you. For additional metals, links are down below in the description. Now, before we play the rest of what, acting attorney general said, I want to show you this video. RNC chair Joe Grutters announces 130 lawsuits filed across 32 states to stop Democrat election shenanigans as President Trump deploys army of election lawyers to stop the steal. Now, here's the video.
Well, listen, the president, when he asked me to take this position, he said, we got to make sure our elections are safe and secure. We have to continue to build on the success that Laura Trump and Michael Wiley built in the 2024 cycle. And yes, the Democrats are trying to cheat every single day. That's why we have to have 130 lawsuits. We're bringing the hammer wherever we can. 32 states where we have lawsuits because the Democrats are trying to cheat every single day. It doesn't matter if it's redistricting. It doesn't matter if what they've done is they've allowed tens of millions of illegals to come across our border, and they're trying to figure out ways to get them to vote. And that's why we're always after making sure we have integrity in the system, that we can have confidence in the democracy, and we're putting people in place. We already hired staff in 17 states, but we're going to continue our strong litigation effort to make sure we beat back these Democrats and their efforts that have been ongoing for decades in terms of trying to steal elections. Well, listen.
So the RNC chairman, who is endorsed and pretty much appointed by President Donald Trump, he's suing all these states, all these Democrats, for hiding the voter rolls, for allowing people to vote by mail, no voter ID. But that's just one side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. The other side is going back to 2020, 2022, and looking at the shenanigans of the Democrat Party, looking at what they've been doing. And this is where the DOJ comes in.
She just said that we're going to find out that President Trump actually did win certain states in the 2020 election. Now, the president says all the time that the election was rigged. What have you done about that? Do you have any evidence that the election was rigged? What can you tell us?
Well, there's a ton of evidence that the election was rigged. That's not something the DOJ needs to tell you about. There's been evidence about that for many, many years. What I can tell you is that we have multiple investigations going on in Arizona, in Georgia, in Fulton County, Georgia, and that's exactly what we're looking at. By the way, this is very difficult because they're very good. They're very good at hiding up misconduct and hiding what they're doing. And so that's why we're very focused on finding out whether the right people voted, whether people who were supposed to vote voted, whether there was one vote cast per voter. And that's what we're doing in multiple states. And I expect, and again, people, you'll say to me, how long has it taken? Why is it taking so long? And the reality, the answer to that is because it takes a lot of work uncover what happened in 2020. It takes a lot of old, good old-fashioned law enforcement police work, which is what we're doing, and we have great prosecutors working on it as well. And I expect that, and I assure the American people that as soon as we have something to say for it, whether it's charges, whether it's a report, whether it's the results of an investigation, the American people will learn about what we've uncovered.
Yeah.
So right now we have two different things happening, ladies and gentlemen. And look, I know that Traitor Thune has betrayed President Donald Trump, the MAGA agenda, and the American people. He's absolutely refusing to pass and fight for the Save America Act. So we got to go out other directions, take other means. And we see Trump is doing just that. The RNC, the DOJ, they are doing everything to make sure we make history once again in 2026 like we did in 2024 to win this election, make America great again, and save humanity from the globalists. God bless you. Subscribe. I'll see you soon.